and I can close this live stream. I can close it, or okay. And it means I'm closing this window, prepare webinar, and I'm opening it via the there. It seems like a switch off and on. Okay, start even. I see it. So I can go online. Okay, bye. Thank you, bye. Hello, everyone. Do you all hear me? I see some familiar names like Rastislav and some other names. Okay, great. Thank you, Natalia, for confirming that you hear me. Welcome, everyone. It's a special series of webinar. It's a special event for me because I'm sitting in Lausanne, Switzerland, in the Heliot office. To introduce myself a bit, I worked for Simple Cell Czech Republic for some time. Now I'm helping Switzerland, Austria, and Romania to deploy their network, their Sigfox network. And I also work with Simple Hardware device manufacturer, and we also do the IOFrog platform with our colleagues. And this webinar is all about IOFrog. So let me start why I included this funny picture with Homer Simpson and the frog. I just wanted to give you a bit of a insight. It's a lot of magic in behind creating a IoT platform, especially for Sigfox, because Sigfox, as you know, is a network that has a lot of limits. It's not really responsive. It's not really real time. It's not really easy to create a platform for Sigfox. But at the same time, if you focus only on Sigfox, it's really much easier to create a platform for Sigfox devices. Okay. Natalia, my colleague, asked me to tell you a bit more about this webinar. So this webinar is for sales and technical pre-sales guys. I worked in Simple Cell and now in Heliot as a sales and pre-sales guy. So I think we are talking. I'm in between the right in the right audience. Also, any integrators are welcome. Also, if there is anyone from IoT platforms, I would really welcome you on board of this webinar. It's really nice to see competition or supporters and / different platforms, so we can all work for better Sigfox ecosystem. It's not really a difficult webinar, I would say. We'll be talking, or I will be talking mostly, and you will, of course, will have some space for questions at the end of this webinar. But I will be mostly talking about software platform, about the futures, why we create IOFrog, etc. So it's not really highly technical. It will last only 30 minutes. Plus, we will have 15 minutes for question and answers. And I can consider myself as a sales engineer because I do sales. I've been head of sales in Simple Cell for quite some time. And now I do much more technical sales, I can even program, guys. So I can even do software programming. And actually, for example, with Rastislav Vartyak that I see in here, we did some Node-RED programming, and we started with connecting our objects to Node-RED platform. And then we realized that there is a need for something bigger. And why? So during like my involvement in Simple Cell Sigfox operator, we saw that there is a huge micro segment of clients. So these are the clients that are asking you every day, maybe if there is anyone from Sigfox operator, you know it, is asking you, what is Sigfox about? Can you sell us some devices? Can you give us some connectivity? Because we want to try Sigfox and we want to play with Sigfox, etc. That's what we call the micro segment. And this micro segment is generating the Sigfox operators a very big amount of work and support tickets. So we wanted to create a platform that we can basically navigate our micro segment to, and this platform will serve them. Also, for the bigger deals, because in Simple Cell or in Heliot in Switzerland now, we try to focus on bigger deals, as you all do, and I hope you do. So we wanted to demo fast. Everyone is talking about POCs. Everyone wants some POCs. But if you want to go fast forward, you need to have some ready-made platform so you can get your sensors quickly connected and demo and POC with the customers super quickly. That was another intention of IOFrog. Then we realized, demoing to the customer, that sometimes you are combining much more than one sensor. So you are using different device types, not only one, but you want to combine them in a meaningful manner into meaningful dashboards. So that's why in IOFrog, and I say we because we are really, really well connected with the creators. It's a group of guys behind IOFrog. These guys worked for system integrators and they work with Sigfox ecosystem for a pretty long time. So if I talk about we, I mean me and the guys behind Simple Cell and Heliot and IOFrog. So we wanted to have all the meaningful hardware, so all the hardware that you can find on the platform, on the partners.sigfox.com, but the devices that we have checked and we know that they're ready for mass production, that they are ready to be sold, that they are ready for mass deployment, etc. So we wanted to have more than one device on one platform. So multiple devices on one platform. That was the key. Also, if you do POCs or if you do demos to your customers, you want to have the smallest possible gap in between the POC and demo and the real production phase of deployment. So we tried to create IOFrog so you can quickly move from small amount of devices and demos and POCs to production with the same devices and with the same platform. Also, at the beginning, we really focused on selling connectivity. And you know that because selling connectivity to microsegment is almost impossible with Sigfox B2B contracts. So we wanted to sell to micro customers connectivity, and we wanted to create a portal or a platform that you can use your credit card and buy connectivity online. Still, we have to apply for the minimum margin, but you can do it if you put some additional costs because of the platform itself. We wanted to have a parser So IOFrog was created as a parser, mostly for simple hardware devices, and then it grown into much more devices. So we can parse in IOFrog, parse a message, and then forward it to different platforms or different data warehouses or different systems. Also, we have been asked and we served our IOFrog customers with a customization. So you can put a logo of yours or your customer. You can do your own instance and you can quack it with your own logo. And of course, it's a pretty modern architecture behind IOFrog. It's based on AWS. It's API first, microservice-like design principles. So it's pretty modern. All these principles are pretty modern, I would say. Multi-tenant. So we basically know your feelings, guys, because I've been working with system integrators. I've been in Sigfox operators. So I know what you need, and that's why I say it. I said because we created IOFrog for us, basically. So if you wanna serve your end customers with whatever sensors you have, I mean sensors that are ready for B2C deployment. So we are talking about B2C devices you can find partners, Sigfox.com, like InSafe smoke detectors, simple bags, simple leaks, I don't know, RFID readers, etc. I will show you some of the devices later on. Then the second group that we know we can serve with IOFrog is a Sigfox operator. They want to test hardware functionality before recommending it to any further to the Sigfox operator channels, channel partners and integrators. And of course, every system integrator wants to brand their own IOFrog platform so they can show their logo to their customer. Again, if you are a system integrator and you want to define and deploy and manage and evaluate POC, I have already talked about it. So, and under your brand, IOFrog is ready for you to serve you. You need a middleware. So you want to parse messages from devices, from uplinks of devices, or reconfigure devices via downlinks. So you can do it with IOFrog with the supported devices. And then you can just push the already parsed data into your platforms. Yeah, and also if you want to serve your big customers, and I can spread the name. Oh, I can't spread the name, but we have been working with a big insurance company here in Czech Republic, and we needed a platform where we can quickly set up 100 devices and spread them in between their clients, and IOFrog served that purpose very well. So what's a typical IoT platform lifecycle that we designed IOFrog in? Well, that with these principles we designed the IOFrog platform. So first you are doing the device provisioning. So you are putting the devices into backend. You are creating the service. You are creating the callbacks, or you are providing the API accesses. Then you do the user provisioning. Most of the times you are doing multiple user provisioning at the same time if you are serving, for example, a bigger customer. Then you do the device deployment, which is really the hardware and sensor installation. You need a platform for it to manage it and to see if the devices were activated or not, etc. Creating dashboards. Then, of course, you do the device management with downlinks. Some of the devices that are supported by IOFrog are downlink enabled. Some of the devices are not downlink enabled. I really recommend you using playing with IOFrog, I really recommend you using Simple Pack 3.0 plus full from Simple Hardware from our company, or using the Sensit device, because then you can really enjoy all the experience of uplinks and downlinks. That's what we call, with Simple Hardware, that's what we call the API, and API 6 version at the moment. Then you do, of course, with the platform, you do the connectivity management. If you want to have successful deployment of POC or any device, you need connectivity, obviously. You can connect your own contracts, or you can use contract of IOFrog itself and buy connectivity via credit card. Of course, you do some user rights management during setup, during platform creation and POC setup, and this means most probably the cross sharing of devices in between these customers, in between your customers, sharing rights, etc., exports, imports. Then you do metadata processing, most probably, for example, for the geolocation, for geofencing, etc. And the last one, but not the least important one, is the device performance evaluation. What we have realized in between our Sigfox operator group is that we really need to show to some of our customers that Sigfox is a reliable network. So we want to really have a deliverability of messages somehow locked somewhere in some platform. So IOFrog also can serve you to show to the customer how many messages were lost on their way to the BTS, to the base station, and how many of the messages were delivered. All is included. So obviously, IOFrog is doing the data parsing. So you all know that if you are asking some hardware manufacturer to give you some device, always ask for the payload description, and not just uplink, but also downlink payload description. IOFrog can serve you to do the parsing and also forward the messages, parsed messages in JSON format. So you don't care about the parsing of supported devices. So the data you receive in different platforms like AWS, SAP, Google, etc., you have it already parsed. So IOFrog can serve as a middleware. And then you have, obviously, the alerts, workflow, processing of emails, SMSs, push notifications, etc. And the last one is the device delivery ratio metrics I already talked about, so I will just skip it for now. In the user interface and UX, we focused on some data visualizations, but please take, I just want to say that IOFrog is not primarily designed as a visualization platform. We really wanted to serve mostly the customers that want to decode the data, that want to get the out-of-the-box experience for supported devices, be able to POC fast, demo fast, and sell to end customer. So visualization it works. Obviously, you will see some dashboards, but visualization, you can't really customize the visualization. We try for every sensor to do the best out-of-the-box visualization experience, but you can't really customize it a lot. IOFrog has geolocation and geofencing support, so you can set up geofences for the geolocation. You can set various user levels or /profiles personas, which means that there are various types of your customers entering IOFrog, and you want to customize IOFrog for the user experience level of your customer. So we have created 4 personas from the beginner to the expert. So for example, the beginner don't see the downlink configuration option at all, because if the customer browse to this downlink customization button, he will be rather scared than served for its purpose. IOFrog is fully localized via JSON files, online edited JSON files. So we can add new you can actually add your own translation very quickly, just translating a JSON file and maintaining it in future. We have created the English and Czech language versions by ourselves. The French customization was done by Heliot, Switzerland office. Japanese was done by Mr. Kiyoshi Ede, who is present, and I really thank you for that, and for your colleagues to helping us translating IOFrog to Japanese. And of course, you can do favorites and seconds. So what's very nice to have with your own platform, with the platform you want to use, and IOFrog is ready for it, is branding. Because as you have branded products, as you have so this is Sigfox branded product, but you have device manufacturer branded products, but you want to have your customer branded product, so you want to have your customer branded application. So we can do that. IOFrog has a mobile application at the moment. It's not fully, it's not all the features are not included in the mobile application. It's just used for the basic view of the data, of the sensors, of the notifications of the sensors, and most important, to serve you with push notifications. But there is a lot of functionality you can do on the mobile phone version of the application. It's a native application. It's not progressive web app. It's a native application. So you can turn on and turn off notifications for emails, for push, for SMSs. You can see the status of those sensors, etc., etc. At the moment, IOFrog is Android only mobile application, but the iPhone version is in production and it will be ready pretty soon. You can even have branded mobile application. If you search for IOFrog on Google Play Store, you will find Nextelec branded application for the InSafe Nextelec product line of CO, CO2, smoke, and air quality sensors. We also created a cross-sharing, cross-user device sharing interface. So imagine the user story that you have a wife and you have multiple sensors at your home, and you want to have basically just like one application at your phone and one application at your wife's phone, but sharing the same devices. So that was the reason we created the device sharing. But you can imagine that, for example, you have in a huge insurance group, you have 50 testers that are testing the devices, but one supervisor that wants to see all the devices that are under his account. Lately, we created the Sigfox contract device one-click migration. It's a really good path to upgrade the free tokens that every Sigfox operator can provide to their ecosystem, but are very, very limited for 1 year and another limitations. So if anyone from the Sigfox operator is listening to us, to me, sorry, it's a really good upgrade path for your free connectivities. And also, if you need, you can easily create a JSON file with whitelisted devices that are pre-imported into the branded instance of IOFrog. And then once the customer enters the registration of the device, he's not asked for the pack codes, etc. The path is really very narrow. I think I will be repeating myself with some of the bullet points, so I will just go through quickly. But it's really important that we created in the user experience path in registering the device. We have included a global coverage API call, so every customer can check first if there is connectivity at the place of installation of the sensors. It's really necessary. I have to say that you can serve IOFrog on cloud or on premise. It's built in this use case also in mind. At the moment, the main instance is running on AWS, but you can host it on your premises. It's fully scalable. It's really, as you can imagine, if you host something on AWS, it's pretty scalable horizontally, even, yeah, horizontally, vertically, pretty scalable. And the main reason behind creating a platform like IOFrog is to really shorten your sales cycle. If you can just take a device, give the customer ID pack, one link to some platform and say, go there, register, buy connectivity online, and you are done. You have a Sigfox working device you can play with or show it to your customer. Then it's really helping you shorten your lifecycle. IOFrog, as all of the devices of Simple Hardware, is supporting 600 bits per second in the RCZ 1, 3, and 6. It also supports the one-frame sending. So maybe a lot of you already know that Sigfox is sending almost always 3 frames for one message, but you can set some devices into sending 1 frame. So you are saving some time in the air sending just 1 frame, so you can basically send 3 times more messages. So the 140 messages limit is not anymore a limit, because you can have 144 multiplied by 3. And if you go for 600 bits, it's even multiplied by 18. Do you trust it? That's incredible. Then you can no limits basically with Sigfox, and it's still in the duty cycle. IOFrog has built-in Sigfox Atlas Wi-Fi, so the Sigfox Wi-Fi localization via iHear is supported. It's Monarch ready, so it's multi-zone basically ready and supported. We also have our own, if I talk about simple hardware devices like Simple Pack, we also have our own modes that are involving Google Maps geolocation API. So you can switch in between basically 3 or 4 sources for your geolocation. I mean Sigfox Atlas Wi-Fi via here, or Google geolocation API. IOFrog was created in the design principle, with the design principle in mind, that basically you can create an instance for your partner, for your integration channel partner, and he will be using his own connectivity. So you can set it up as a Sigfox operator. You can set it up and running, and say, dear integrator, now you have the device, now I have the platform up and running, and you connect your own CDP connectivity. And so you can earn your money on top of your connectivity, your devices, and your platform. Okay. So what's already supported? The devices that are already supported. I don't have all of these around me, but I have some of these. So we have temperature, humidity in the Simple Pack, temperature, humidity, sense it. Or you can use, for example, Comet, calibrated, super precise, temperature, humidity, barometric pressure. Then we have the in-safe origin CO2, CO. So I mean the carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide. We have light sensors in here, also in Sensit. We have these really nice seals from the Slovak simple cell. So it's a seal, mechanical seal, supported by IOFrog. We have the read switch. I don't have the magnet in here, but we have read switch in here. And for example, in this device, there is also a magnet you can that serves as an anti-tampering functionality for the device. Accelerometer in all of these, basically even in the simple you have accelerometer that is telling you if the device is correctly oriented. Then we have magnetometer in SimplePack Plus, RFID reader, most probably working like this, supported. GPS, like IE things. I don't know if you guys know this device, pretty good device. GPS, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi, Sigfox, whatever else, NFC. So Wi-Fi positioning, SimplePack with Wi-Fi, also this guy with Wi-Fi. Parking pills from the Slovak Simple Cell. I don't have it by my hand, but you can search for it online, and you can do presses like panic buttons, frequent ordering. This is the accelerometer. In the simple leak, if the orientation is not good, it starts beeping. Oh yeah. So, and now, sorry to say that, but I can't show you the platform live during this webinar because we are running out of time, and every time demo is time consuming, and we know that. And the second reason that is that I'm running Linux, and Linux does not support, for some reason, screen sharing on this webinar platform. So don't worry, I took some screenshots for you. So this is the main screen. If you log in, you see basically a card for every device you have. You can switch in between different views for every sensor. So the actual value of the sensor, the history of the sensor, or a map of the sensor. So you see, I'm in Lausanne, in Switzerland, next to the Genève Lake. At the moment, then if you click on the three dots that are present on every card of every device, you can press and search through the history of all messages. You can see that this is the parsed message for every of the devices. So you see the raw message, even with the quality of the signal. You see that there is this geolocation message. So basically, if you set up all the callbacks correctly, you are getting the geolocation parsed out of the best source. You are getting parsed. You are getting your data parsed. I don't have a screenshot in here, but you see a tab called air quality. And there is a really nice dashboard and graph with the air quality, humidity, temperature, and barometric pressure for this sensor. Next screenshot is showing you, if you click on the three dots again and you search for settings, you can set up pretty a lot of things for every device. So basically you are indicating what device type the device is. So we are on SimplePack 3.0. Then the really important drop-down menu is the location source. At the moment, we have created a static Dropbox, so we are switching manually in between the location in geolocation source. So there is GPS or Wi-Fi or Sigfox only. But we will be implementing in future and most probably pretty soon in a outdoor updating, cascading style of switching that will be using the best possible, the most accurate position that is your device giving you. If we look at the next tab in the settings menu, you have the downlink configuration. As I've already said, it's really good to play with the Simple Pack 3.0 Plus or Sensit, because then you can really play with the downlinks. So basically what you do is you set all the parameters that you can set up with our, for example, API 6. You switch the device into correct mode. The downlink is then displayed here at the current download waiting to be downloaded to the device. You hit update, and then at your device, you ask for the downlink. For example, with a Simple Pack Plus 3.0 Plus full, you press it for 6 seconds until it starts blinking. And I have not held it enough to show you how it works. Like this. Then, so it starts blinking like this. So this is downlink, and you can, every device that is supported, we have so far 22 supported devices. I've showed you some of the devices. So the devices that supports downlink, you can set it up in here, and then you have to do the procedure for every device. It's different to ask for the downlink request. Then there is a matrix of notification matrix. So basically what you see in here are the events that the device can generate and the notification channels you want to use for such an event. So it's pretty granular. Sometimes with our devices, with simple hardware devices, really granular. So you can set up for every alert a notification. I've already talked about the geo notification rules. So at the moment, it's pretty simple. So you can choose a incoming, outgoing, or multilateral type. You name the area. You just put the GPS latitude and longitude and the radius, and a notification channel you want to use, and you hit update. You can set multiple zones for every device, and then you are notified for the geofencing with the geofencing of the device. Oh, sorry. And the last one, and I think the most sexy part of, from my point of view, as I'm a tech guy, is the microservice tab. So basically, all you see in here, all the parsing, etc., you can basically skip it and just parse the messages of the devices that are supported and receive a JSON formatted version of parsed message into your platform. So just using IOFrog as a middleware for devices, for Sigfox devices. So basically, you are using IOFrog connectivity or your own connectivity, but customers can really buy their own connectivity, and you are forwarding the data into your own platform, but already parsed. That's really nice. I love it. So, and the last one is sharing. So I've already talked about that. So you can share the devices in between different users of IOFrog. Pretty handy feature if you want to use IOFrog in different environments. And we are getting to the end. I'm sorry for taking your time for questions, but really quickly running through the registration process. I haven't had time to give you all the screenshots for all the steps, but you can see that first you do coverage check for the device, then you put the ID, then you select the device type. If it is not whitelisted, if it is whitelisted, you don't put any device type because you know it already on the IOFrog that the device type of the device you are registering it. You connect connectivity. Either you already have connectivity or you buy a connectivity, set up notification, and you are done. Okay, so that's all from me. I just want to tell you that this is just one part of our series of webinars. The insight number 4 will be about training and about 7 biggest mistakes in IoT sales. And I have done so far million of mistakes in selling IoT, but we are all learning. And so I think it's really good to share the mistakes in our community of Sigfox operators and integrators and users, so we can avoid them next time. The insight number 5 will be about insurance, because we think that we have pretty good knowledge about the insurance, at least in Czech Republic, but we also have some experience from South Africa. We will be getting most probably pretty soon some experience from Japan. Thank you, Kiyoshi. The 6th insight is about selling Lego boxes, what we call it. So a box that can be customizable, but it's end-to-end. So basically getting these nice devices with your platform and with some nice packaging and boxes and really nice data sheets and sales materials, and using it to let your ecosystem grow, if we talk about Sigfox operators. So you can register here. I don't know if it is active, but you can register here, or you can always contact us, or you will be contacted by us via newsletter. And sorry for taking a bit more of your time, 9 minutes. So we have 5 minutes for questions, or we can a bit more prolong it if Natasha won't be too much pushy on me to finish on time. So if you have any question, please write it down into the chat window on your right, in your right corner of the screen, and we can talk about it. Meanwhile, I will switch to the last slide. This slide was first prepared, so I wanted to show you the live demo of IOFrog, but we can follow later on one-on-one, or I can forward you to the guys behind the platform so they can give you insights by themselves. Okay, so Monica, thank you very much for the question, is asking me if I can send, or if IOFrog can send the event reminder earlier in the day. Can you send the event reminders earlier in the day, please? Okay, so it's not about the platform. Now I get it. It's about organization of the webinars. Monica, Natalia, who is organizing and helping us with the webinars, is with us in here, and she will most probably take care of it. So taking note. Thank you, Monica, for your question. No problem. Thank you. Anyone having any question? Nobody has a question. Guys, you have been doing your emails, haven't you? Webinars are here to listen. So no questions? How well does IOFrog work with SQL databases? So that's a pretty technical question, and maybe Tafadzwa, sorry for maybe misspelling your name. I don't really understand the question, but SQL databases. Let me elaborate a bit more on your question, and maybe you can put me some detailed description. Meanwhile, write me some detailed description. IOFrog, behind IOFrog, there is no SQL database. It's running, as far as I know, on top of MongoDB. No SQL database. So it's storing the data in this database, but it can be forwarded into any other platform, into any other database you can imagine. But we are forwarding the data in JSON format. So first you have to, I would say, flood them. So put them, make them flat from the JSON structure to any SQL table-like structure, or and then forward it to your SQL database. Okay, there is another question, and it's Mohit. When you said one message, 600 bits, so it means transmission of 144 multiplied by 3 messages per day. How about the possibility of successful transmission and how your dashboard represents it? Okay, so I most probably haven't shown you the screenshot of there is a diagnostic dashboard for all the devices you have under your account or shared devices that are shared with you under your account. And basically, you are seeing the number of messages. It's based on the sequence number of the Sigfox message sequence number. So you see how many messages were received, how many messages were lost, and the delivery success ratio. So it's basically the ratio between messages delivered and all messages based on the highest and minimum sequence number. And if we talk about 600 bits, is in general, it's a different bit rate because in zone 1 and 3 you are using with Sigfox 100 bits per second. So it's a bit different from the reliability perspective. If you emit the messages in 600 bits. Anyway, the more important aspect is the number of frames you are sending. So if we talk about one frame, you most probably know that Sigfox was designed 3 frames, so 3 repetitions of the same message on different radio frequencies and different time. So there is much more reliability built in the standard protocol. But you can hack it, and you can send just one frame. It's affecting the deliverability of the message, but at the same time, for example, for tracking, it might be clever to use much more positions with much less redundancy, I would say, with 3 times less redundancy. So sometimes it's much better to send one frame message, but with much bigger frequency. No, I have not covered pricing already. Edward Kedden, thank you very much for the questions. There is no time to cover everything, but pricing. If you go to IOFrog.com and you hit pricing on the top of the page, there is the pricing, I think, pretty clearly stated. I don't have the pricing in my head because I'm not a reseller of IOFrog. We work with the platform. All of our devices are supported. As operators, we use it, but we are not selling it. I just want to say that the price is always flexible with IOFrog. The prices you are seeing online, most probably right now, are negotiable and are designed for end customers, for B2C customers. If you want to have some special pricing, if you want to have your own custom branded instance of IOFrog, just don't hesitate to contact the support team behind IOFrog. Just go to the contacts tab and send emails to the guys behind IOFrog. So pricing, and I would say we discussed that today in Switzerland, that it really depends. The pricing is a composite in IOFrog. It's a composite of connectivity. If you buy connectivity with your credit card, the connectivity is basically double the price of connectivity you can buy from your Sigfox operator. The reason is pretty clear and simple, because no Sigfox operator can give an integrator a reseller permission. It's a connectivity only reseller permission. So a system integrator that is buying a wholesale connectivity from Sigfox operator can't sell you connectivity without any margin. That's in the distribution agreements in between Sigfox operators and Sigfox. So So that's why IOFrog, as a, I would say, kind of system integrator, is reselling connectivity with margin on top. And yeah, so that's one part of the pricing, and the second part is the platform itself. But still, you have to take in mind that there is a lot of work behind. There is some maintenance cost, support, etc., etc. So, but we can always discuss the price, or sorry, you can always discuss the price with the guys behind IOFrog. Same question here above, Aleš Sobotka. So I think Aleš already answered this question. Pricing is online. So you can check it online. If you have any further questions about pricing, just ping an email to the guys behind IOFrog. And I think I run completely out of time. I took 4 minutes more out of your time. Natalia, am I correct? It's 30 minutes plus 15, so I'm 4 minutes over. Thank you very much for your attention. I hope it was not too theoretical, but you can always demo, or you can always try the platform by yourself. So I just didn't want it to go and click around and showing you the hidden corners of the platform. I just wanted to give you the insights of why we created IOFrog and why we are using it. Because it's, from my perspective, much more important to know why than to click around. Thank you very much to everyone for your attention. The webinar will be available to download. Actually, it is live streamed on YouTube. So if you go to Simple Hardware YouTube channel, you can most probably watch it just after I hit the end session button. It will be ready, or just a few minutes after, once YouTube processes the video. Thank you very much again. Arigato gozaimasu. And have a great rest of the day. Bye-bye.